Hey, welcome to another episode of the Joe Flo Sports Show. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Joe Flo, aka Joseph Florentine. Please subscribe, share, like, and view our show. I got a great episode for you today. Before I go any further, I do want to apologize for not putting any episodes out recently. It's because I've actually got a sponsorship with Pines Lounge in Hammond, Indiana. So I've been collaborating with them and working with them, and we actually are going to be doing a live show in a couple weeks at the Pines Lounge. So stay tuned for more details on that. With that being said, definitely like to like I said, I got a great show for you today. We're gonna be talking about the British Open, or the Open, what it's called now. A little bit about the Cubs, White Sox, a little bit about the Yankees, which is my favorite team, as you can see. Talk about a little bit about Chicago D-League and how they won, and just some little stats and stuff that's been going on over the weekend. So we'll just jump into it with the British Open. I watched the final round. I actually listened to the 3 previous rounds. So with that being said, just watching that final round Sunday, I can say it's probably one of the greatest golf rounds I've seen live between Henrik Stenson and Phil Mickelson. And personally, Phil Mickelson is my favorite golfer. Henrik Stenson did end up winning the British Open with a score of -20. Phil Mickelson came in second at -17. The crazy thing about this is the first day of the opening round, Phil Mickelson shot a 63, which tied a record in majors. He looped out a putt to go to shoot for 62 and have the record. Let's fast forward a little bit to the final round, where Henrik Stenson actually shot a 63 that day and played out of his mind, and he tied the record for the low score of any major final. It is actually Henrik Stenson's first major at 40, so congratulations to him. Unbelievable player. I've been watching him for years. And another history stat that he posted is he actually shot a low score of 264, which is the lowest in any 74-hole major, or with that fact, tournament. So once again, definitely want to say congratulations to him, and just an awesome tournament overall. And definitely looking forward to the PGA Tour coming up. Phil Mickelson came in second for a staggering 11 times, which is actually second next to Jack Nicklaus, who actually has a 19 but holds the record with the most majors. So you kind of can see how he can come in second a lot of times as well. Yeah, Phil Mickelson gave it all he had. He just missed a couple putts. And what can you do? You either make them or you don't, and Stenson made them. So with that being said, definitely like to get away from golf and talk a little bit about the baseball that's going on right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about the second half of baseball that just got underway. Cubs actually finally got back on track with winning their first series against the Rangers, Texas Rangers to be exact. They won that series 2-1, and their pitching was great. Jake Arrieta's back on track, even though he pitched against the New York Mets right now. But Lester's back on track, and Hendricks, they're all pitching like they should be pitching, because their bullpen's definitely the weakest part of their team right now. They do it before the trade deadline happens here at August 1st. I see them getting a righty or a lefty. Preferably they need a lefty bullpen pitcher. All this talk about Kyle Schwarber getting traded to the Yankees for Andrew Miller to me, it's kind of ridiculous talk. You should never trade for a relief pitcher for a guy like Kyle Schwarber, even though he's been on the DL for the rest of this year with a torn ACL. He's going to be a top hitter in all of baseball next year or the years to come. So, and the reason why I bring that up is because I am a Yankees fan, and I look at this on the Yankees side of the deal. I would do it if I were the Yankees, but I see it as the Cubs fan. Listen, the Yankees have one of the worst farm systems in baseball. And recent history shows that the World Series champs the last 4 or 5 years, they all have young talent, they have young pitching, and they all developed them from their farm league, drafted and developed. Well, that's something the Yankees isn't accustomed to doing, because they have $1 billion to spend, so they go out and buy their players and pick them up, which is great because it worked for a lot of years. But We're in a different time zone. We're in a different game now. We have to get younger. And I say we do a fire sale for the Yankees. Get rid of CC Sabathia next year. He's owed $25 million. Get rid of him. Get rid of Adrian Beltre this year if we can. Get rid of Aroldis Chapman if it's the pitcher, I believe, in the relief that we need to get rid of and keep Andrew Miller. He's a young stud. Not a lot of money to pay for him, and he's going to be good for a long time. So jump back a little bit into the Cubs. Cubs have a great series going on right now with the New York Mets. They lost a heartbreaker yesterday. They had bases loaded to the bottom of the ninth. And, of course, their bullpen gave up 1 run to make it 2-1 in the bottom of the ninth. And, it just couldn't come through. That's where the relief pitcher for the Cubs, they have to get one here soon if they have an opportunity to go to the World Series, which they clearly still do. And they are still, to me, the favorite team coming out the NL Central. White Sox, we can talk a little bit about them. There's really not much to talk about of late. They did end their 34 scoreless innings and had, finally got a few runs. They ended up winning yesterday 6-1 against Seattle Mariners. Chris Sale, of course, the game 1 pinched a gem, gave 8 shutout inning, or 1 hitter, I should say, sorry. Of course, their bullpen, David Roberson, gave up the 3-run home run to lose the game. So, the White Sox are still there. They're still 500. They're still only 4 or 5 games out of the wild card. So, I don't think the season's up yet, but I think most people are going to throw in the towel with the White Sox. With that being said, definitely want to jump into a little bit about the NBA D-League and the the Division D-League champion Chicago Bulls. Talk a little bit about the Bulls D-League and how they went 6-0 and went undefeated and actually won it in a crazy fashion by Denzel Valentine, which, ironically, he made 2 game-winning shots if you look at it. In regular time, he made this unbelievable three-pointer with 0.2 seconds left in the game to tie it after Tyus Jones shot a Steph Curry long-range shot to potentially win the game with 3.7 seconds. And in OT thriller, Denzel Washington, we're getting a little off track here with the acting. I meant Denzel Valentine ended up making this unbelievable shot to win the game in the final seconds to win it 84-82. And to me, it's a great sign for the Bulls because we just won the D-League. All our young players that are going to be on the team this year and our draftees playing well. And I think they're going to continue to play that as the season starts, especially Denzel Valentine. I like the guy. He's a stud, and I think we got a steal out of him at number 14. With that being said, I just want to give you a little updates and stats and that's going on in other sports. For instance, Arian Foster just signed with the Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, on a 1-year deal, and actually will be fighting for a starting job with Landry. So, in another news with football, I hate to say it, but a guy that I do respect, Charles Peanut Tillman, retired 13 seasons in the league. Now, personally as a Packers fan, I hated this guy. This guy would always hit fumbles or knock the balls out of all our running backs' hands or our receivers' hands, and would cost us some of the games. And I have the utmost respect for Charles Peanut Tillman. He was a great football player. He helped Chicago win many games on that back end of the defense. Congratulations on your retirement and whatever you do moving forward. Just quick stats on him real quick. He did have 38 career interceptions. And to me, the stat that sticks out the most is he had 44 forced fumbles in his career. I don't understand why younger players don't mimic this guy and punching the ball out. Close that fist at all you young football cornerbacks or safeties and punch at that ball. Please do, because you're going to hit it. You see that it's happened with Charles Tillman every single time. So congratulations once again on him. Another football note, speaking of the Green Bay Packers, we will be honoring Brett Favre on October 16th against the Dallas Cowboys, who I hope we win by 45 against because I hate them more than the Bears. So, and actually that day we're going to be wearing our throwback jerseys in honor of Brett Favre. So a little side note for you Packers fans out there. Also, we got another interesting stat about Drew Brees, which he has 8 straight seasons. Think about this, everybody. 8 straight seasons of 4,000 plus passing yards and 30 plus TDs. NFL record. And quite frankly, I don't know anybody that's going to break that. That's just staggering numbers for a guy who's only 6 feet tall, by the way, too. Just great accomplishment by Drew Brees. Jumping into a little bit of college basketball, there's a new rule change this year for only the number 1 overall seed. So this is going to be huge for teams in the top 5 moving forward. If you get that overall number 1 seed, you now have the opportunity to pick the first 2 rounds, the locations you would like to play at. I think there's 8 to 10 different locations, so you will get to choose. Every team will get to choose before the middle of the season to decide where they want to play. So that's decided ahead of time. So a little interesting fact. So maybe those top 10 teams are going to play a little harder to get the number 1 seed overall in the league. Yeah, I'm Joe Flo. Please, thanks again, everybody, for subscribing, sharing, liking, viewing the show. Once again, we have a live show coming at you at the Pines Lounge. Please, I'll keep you updated on that. Check out the show. Thanks again. Stay sporty, my friends.